Welcome to Joint Effort PAs, where two orthopedic surgery PAs get real about life in medicine. From tips and tricks to professional growth, work-life balance, and everything in between. We're here to share what we've learned and what we're still figuring out. Let's get into it. All right, guys, we're back. We're going to talk about a very a modern topic.
Yeah, I think it's modern.
Very modern topic.
Very relevant.
AI use in orthopedics.
So AI obviously has blown up over the past couple years. But in medicine, I mean, we are not in our own bubble. We are exposed to it as well. And like for better or worse, we use it every day.
Yeah.
Right.
And
yeah.
when do you feel like AI became something you were even aware of? I feel like I'm always late to the game on most everything in life, like wide leg jeans and all the
center parts,
socks that show past your ankles. I just recently started doing that, and I think it might not be cool anymore.
Because you're so late.
Yeah, I'm so late to it. The no-show socks are probably back in already.
Honestly, I think like the availability of AI for me to like want to use it maybe like a year ago. Yeah. But when I say it like that, if you look back at our EMR has prompted like AI things, as has our email for a couple years now.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I remember like this was a long time ago, right? Gmail would, if you're on your phone and you started typing something, it would try to like finish your sentence for you.
Yeah. So that I think it's been around a long time, but I think my desire to use it and kind of lean into it for about a year now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the doc I work with we started talking about ChatGPT probably a year ago.
Yeah.
And I started using it for like more personal things at the time, and then slowly started to see the benefits of using it for work-related things. And I've actually been to several conferences where they've had sessions on AI. So people are using AI not just in private practice clinic settings. It's not just us. It's being used in hospitals. It's being used for a lot of stuff. And actually it wasn't our all staff meeting this year. AI was like a big portion.
Yeah, in fact,
they did a whole session.
Yeah, they did a whole session on encouraging us to lean into it to make our jobs easier, which again, I feel like that is a very loaded sentence because there's so much trust that you need to put into it. And if you don't go back and check what you are essentially sending out as your own, I don't want to put my name or my stamp on something that sounds stupid. For example, I have a friend who very recently got back in the workforce and graduated college in like late 90s. We're talking 25 years, stay-at-home mom, and now back in the workforce. So she sent me her resume, which was like, the email on it was like a Hotmail email. I'm like, girl, you gotta update this, right? So
no, at AOL.com anymore.
Yeah. So I screenshotted it and then I put it into AI and I was like, clean this up. And it made experiences that she didn't have. And I did not check it. And I sent it to her and she was like, I've never worked at a restaurant. And I was like, oh,
weird.
It like took it and made it something it wasn't. But
it does some crazy stuff sometimes. So you do have to be careful. And I think that's like my initial thought, if somebody had told me like 2 or 3 years ago, or even when I was in PA school, like, oh, you're going to use AI to this capacity, I feel like it would have been thought of as a negative thing. Like, ooh, your notes should be 100% like your own writing, and you shouldn't be like using, AI to help you come up with treatment plans that should come from your own brain. But look at the progression of things from medicine, like a bajillion years ago, when people had to read textbooks and then remember things, and then could go back later and like pull their textbook off their shelf and turn to the page and reference it. Then at the time that I was going to school, I mean, the internet obviously is a thing. I'm not that old. So you can Google things like, right, you have your smartphone with you, you're on your ER rotation, and somebody asks a question, and you can look it up within seconds and find an answer, on your phone if you know where to look for the appropriate sources. Now, you don't even have to know where to look for the appropriate sources. You could just have your ChatGPT app up and be like, hey, what's this?
When I was in PA school, we were actually documenting like charting that way. And it was like shorthand, soap notes, and then EMR the very basic EMR was a thing when I was a PA. And then obviously that has progressed quite a bit. So even with EMR, like simplifying dot phrases, right? Like the things that you say all the time, you can just save it instead of freehand writing it.
Yeah.
So that, that made things easier. But then now you take AI and you can go to the next level and, make your notes ridiculously like detailed, verbose. And we live in a world where the details that are in our notes determine how high we can bill, right? So it's time consuming to dictate all the differentials, all the things, all the conversations you had, the risks and benefits, the follow-up conversations. Let me review all the labs. Like that's a long time. Or you can say, hey, AI, take the last note, summarize it, add to this note, boom, done.
Yeah. Condense it, make it sound smart, make it sound like somebody smarter than me wrote it.
Yeah. So what do you think you use AI for like on your daily, right? So let's say you're in clinic.
In clinic. Okay. So I have not gotten to the point, the doc I work with uses it to make all of his notes at this point. I haven't gotten to that point because I'm still really like, I don't know if old school is the word. I like to hand type a lot of stuff still. Yeah. But for my more complicated ones or a new visit, or if I want to be sure that I can bill at a certain level, that's what I use it for. So if I am seeing a new patient and I want to make sure I'm hitting all of the points that I need to bill a certain level, then I put that information into AI and I say, hey, this is like a brief summary. I'll go ahead and give it like a paragraph of what I saw them for, what I did, and just like expand on it and make sure it hits all the points. And then I can go in and edit it. So I'm not just like saying, hey, make this copy paste, done, move on to the next. So there's still work on the back end that goes into it, but I use it for that. I'll use it for like decision-making stuff too, or for referencing things, if like, oh, what, med can I use, blah, 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 with something like that. Right. And, you have to be careful and double check that stuff. FYI.
That is true.
This was something we were talking about like months ago. Remember when we had the patient that was like a axillary nerve palsy?
Yes.
And we were like, trap transfer, reverse. Yep. He had a failed cuff repair, I think. And asked AI, what are the options, given all of the things going on with him. And it came up with one thing. I was like, that doesn't really sound right. Like, why couldn't we do this because of this? And then I asked AI and it's like, oh, you're completely right. And it backtracked.
See, I don't think that I would like totally trust AI for clinical decision making.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't use that. Like I use AI. I tried something on my notes where I would go in a room and I would talk to the patient and AI would be like an AI scribe, right? So it would be like not a person, I guess. It would just be my microphone on and it transcribed the visit for HPI and then assessment plan. I hated it.
Yeah. Now that's the one that's like, that's a service that's like a HIPAA compliant AI scribe person. Yeah.
And ideally, like in theory, you put the phone down. I walk in, I'm like, oh, I just, have my phone. I have an AI scribe. I do my visit. I come out, my note is done for me. Like that would be amazing, but it took more time to edit what it thought I meant versus what I meant. And it didn't summarize the way that I would want to do it clinically. So I got rid of that. But I will tell you in sports world, I recently just started using this for our ACL patients. So our ACL patients, we will see back after surgery. And then once they get to return to play timeline, everybody is different, right? So, I would love to say that, I live in a practice where we have very specific protocols for high school cheerleaders as different than college cheerleaders, different for running backs in high school, different for running backs in college, different for defensive ends, whatever. Soccer players, year-round basketball players, but we don't. So I can type in to ChatGPT, I have a 15-year-old 9-month status post ACL reconstruction. Please design a return to cheerleading, focus on tumbling, whatever, or return to cheerleading, focus on stunting for 6 weeks. Like that is something that, I hate to say it, I don't think our physical therapists have the capacity to do that. Yeah. And I don't think if you take patient A and patient B, you have such an individualized program for them based on their needs. Or let's say I have a 13-year-old, 13-year-old, 6'2" basketball player, skeletally immature, status post ACL surgery, Medicaid, so limited PT visits, please incorporate a 6-month plan for physical therapy and home exercise. Like, hello, like that's
AI is great for that kind of stuff. I feel like when I first started using it, I used it to create my workout programs for myself.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very capable, I feel like, because I've been following different programs for 10 years now, and I felt like what it came up with was very legitimate.
Yeah,
in
personalized
comparison to, what I've had professionals make for me in the past. So I do think that's a really good way to use it. Notes and documentation, answering patient questions. It can quicker.
So I did one yesterday. I have this one patient who wrote in, like, we're seeing her for his shoulder, right? Hey, I'm seeing a massage therapist for my shoulder because his shoulder's like really tight. She doesn't want injections, whatever. And I'm noticing now after the massages, I have leg cramps. I've done electrolytes. I take magnesium. Like, what else is going on here? Literally ChatGPT. Leg cramps after massage. What is the lab work I need to order? What are the supplements I need to take? And I sent that to the lab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, in my wheelhouse. Yeah. Like, my go-to is like low potassium.
Yeah.
Her CK is probably high.
Yeah. But this just like kind of packages it all together for you in a way that sounds nice, that you're not like, those things, and you're going to be able to catch if something it's saying is grossly off, but it's just making it quicker for you.
Yeah.
Prior auth letters or denials or like
medical necessity letters. Yeah, we do it for.
If we get denials and I need to write a letter of an appeal or something like that.
So again,
great.
I want to do an oats for a patient. Please write a letter of medical necessity differentiating success rate with oats versus microfracture versus ORIF and cite 6 resources.
Yeah.
Like, that's done in 3 seconds.
Now, the resources thing, you have to be careful with
You
that
do.
with AI, because it makes up resources sometimes. It fabricates studies. Wild that it feels bold enough to do that. But
I would say, not to knock our PT friends, but very specialized PT protocols, templating certain things, and then, I think just streamlining everything. I don't use it for documentation. I really don't, because I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that it helps me know at least how many points I have to hit from a billing perspective. And it helps me like create that initial outline that I can then go and build off of, basically.
So do you think new PAs coming out of school should be fearful of AI, or do you think they should lean into it? And I'll tell you where I'm going with this.
Double-edged sword, I feel like. I feel like even myself, I've gotten really reliant on it, even in the past couple of months. It's so easy to, you have a question about something, just pop it in there and get an immediate answer and not go through the traditional means of researching something and finding out the answers yourself, that you're not really getting like that solid background knowledge. It's just an instant, immediate gratification. We live in instant gratification society.
But it's tricky though, because let's say you're a new PA and let's say you're working in our urgent care and you see a patient come in with medial knee pain. And if you don't ask the right question, like, hey, what are the differentials for medial knee pain?
Yeah.
That's going to give you everything. And then your note's going to sound stupid versus I have a 15-year-old female, non-contact injury to the knee. This is how she presents. What are the differentials, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you're allowing AI to do the work for you, it's a crutch.
Yeah.
I really don't think that that's going to benefit. Also, if a patient can just put in on their own, hey, it hurts on the inside part of my knee. What is this? Like, how are you any better than that?
Yeah. Back to your point, will we be replaced by AI? No, we don't have the type of career that is.
It's also us. We personally can never be
me
replaced.
And Beth can't be replaced by AI. Can you be replaced by AI? Maybe
that's a different question.
Yeah, you need to look inwards for that answer. But I know we certainly can't. But can AI do the best job assisting in a carpal tunnel release?
No,
probably not.
But
not.
But honestly, we are so heavy procedural wise. I don't think that's ever going to be replaced.
No.
And I think the nuanced stuff that we do, again, like if I have a patient that comes in for their algorithmic 1-week follow-up, 3-week follow-up, and everything is going normal, okay, great. Like that feels routine as I'm doing it. Can AI do that? Sure. But I think getting your hands on somebody and talking to them and putting it all together.
But how would AI do that? Like, would a person come into like an office room and like talk to a
computer,
robot and be like, how are you?
Yeah.
Good. See you later. You
But
know, no.
I know, but like, I mean, compare that to like a restaurant. You can
Yeah.
come in and tell a robot what you want to eat.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
no,
you're like,
that's
shit,
replaceable.
I'll be
Yeah.
replaced. But
Yeah,
I think
and probably they might do a better job.
they might do a better job. Yeah. But if someone comes in and they're struggling with something and you kind of have to tease through that at the visit, I think that's, you know, that's what we do every day. We
Yeah.
problem solve on the fly. And I just don't think AI can replace that. And if
Yeah.
they do, I feel like it would be like put into lanes. Like in scenario 1, it's this, scenario 2, it's this. Whereas you and I know sometimes
There's so much overlap.
Yeah.
Also, the hands. It can't replace our hands.
Can't replace our hands.
Yeah.
Hannah.
So that's important.
Most valuable assets.
Yes.
But I think, again, for new PAs, I think relying on it to take the place of knowledge, not good, because guess what? You have to take your boards again and again and
Without
again.
AI.
Without AI.
Yeah.
So you definitely need that, that there. Now, with that being said, in the world of orthopedics, don't you think that there are some things that can be replaced
I do. I mean,
by AI? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, going back to note taking, that's definitely one of them. AI scribing, like I think that's becoming big everywhere. I think that it also, and this isn't really answering your question, it's kind of going off a little bit, but it empowers patients a little bit to know maybe more about their
Yes.
conditions and options coming in, because AI is actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
I was looking at some studies a couple weeks ago in one of the hand surgery journals about the accuracy of, I think it was specifically diagnosing carpal tunnel symptom for patients plugging in, hey, these are my symptoms. What do you think I have? And it was pretty dang accurate in diagnosing
Yeah.
carpal tunnel versus, you know, the person coming in and being diagnosed with it. So pretty similar.
But I think the conversation though, like what it is lacking, and again, maybe fine, like here are my symptoms, I have carpal tunnel. Okay, I am a full-time mechanic. What are my limitations? Like you can ask follow-up questions, but at the same time, if they saw you, they have thenar atrophy, they've been numb for 3 years, like that's a conversation.
And they don't know how to ask for what they don't know about.
Correct. Yeah.
And they also can't, you know, AI can't deliver the treatment plan, can't do the injection. But yeah, you don't know what you don't know. So yes, the person can plug in, I have numbness in my hands, and AI can say you have carpal tunnel syndrome, but the person isn't even thinking to ask like, do they have any other radicular symptoms?
Mm-hmm.
You know, which fingers you know, AI is coming up with the most common, most likely scenario, but it's not looking at all the other subtleties that we would look at. So,
right. Now, as far as, the dangerous side of AI. Again, I uploaded my friend's resume and it completely fabricated like experiences she didn't have. So let's say you're going to use this. Yes, there's fake citations sometimes.
Yeah.
When I was using it for, like I was trialing an AI scribe, it was just making stuff up, you know, like I think it was taking what I was saying and I guess implied, if AI can do that, I don't know, but it implied and then put it in the medical note. Now, as you know, or maybe people don't know, patients love to pull up their notes and read it. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
When you said I refused this or I elected to do this, that's not what really happened. Like they
will tear you
apart.
Yeah, they really will. I got like a bad review a couple weeks ago. My note wasn't even closed yet. Like it was still in the process.
Like draft form.
It was draft form and they could see it and they were like, oh, you didn't write about XYZ in there. And I'm like, well, my note wasn't even done yet. And they're like, oh, the information like that you wrote was totally inaccurate.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I know. In other, things that we do every single day, I think sometimes if I'm trying to communicate something via email, I have put my email into ChatGPT and said like, clean this up, make this more professional.
Yeah.
Try to sound less
angry,
annoyed. Yeah. So that'll help me. But do I do that with everything? No, because it's kind of time consuming.
It is.
I don't want to go through
double work sometimes.
Yeah. I don't want to go through 6 versions of what I want to say because I will have said it. And maybe I wanted to sound annoyed when I said it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. Sometimes I will plug messages into chat before I send it. And it's like, you're coming off really emotional here. Like try this instead. Maybe that was the purpose.
Yeah, screw you, ChatGPT. Maybe I wanted to sound emotional.
So I did yesterday. I asked ChatGPT, can you give me some trends of the most common things that I've asked you over the year? And it said the most common things that I will plug in are billing and coding optimization. So I use it a lot for that. Improving surgical workflows, practice efficiency, expanding procedural skills, and orthobiologics, regenerative medicine, research IRB questions, and how to become more specialized. So those are the biggest things that I use it for, at least. Also creating a media and brand presence, but that's more related to this.
That's
it
personal.
Went off about how many times I ask for skeleton related graphics.
Okay. I mean,
but duh.
I recently, if I just look at my log here, I have return to sport timeline draft for athletes of various whatever, Morel-Laval lesion treatment when I want to avoid surgery, just because there's certain things that we do and don't do. MPFL reconstruction for patients with multidirectional instability. Like I wanted hard statistics on that. Return to play after ACL reconstruction and emotional impact, how to measure emotional readiness. Post PRP injection instructions for patients. I have patients that I do PRP on and they want to know, like, when you inject my shoulder for a rotator cuff partial tear, what can I or can I not do? And then that's different than my elbows. That's different than my arthritic patients. That's different than my knee patients.
Yeah.
So do I have a protocol for all of them? No. Is it great to have them leave with something in hand? Yes.
Yeah.
But again, that happens very quickly. So
yeah. Medical professionalism immediately followed by chaos. This is what ChatGPT literally said to me at the end of that prompt. You go from, can you help structure a prospective postoperative pain study with IRB considerations, to make me a cartoon T-Rex with a banner going across its chest that says 101 trapezium saved? Did I do that within the same 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yes,
I did. Okay.
Yeah. And the T-Rex came out. I wanted it to look like the Jurassic Park
you
scene
don't have
at
to
the end.
explain yourself. Oh yeah.
When like
the banner
falls on the T-Rex and he's
great
roaring. Scene. Yeah, and I wanted it to say it was going to be this whole thing. It is this whole thing. So
great scene.
It's fantastic.
I think we think for patient education, definitely a plus.
Yes.
Okay. For help with consolidating thought processes, I think a plus.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, here's my labs. Here I have this. Is it better to do this? Is it better to do that? Yeah. Billing and coding, how to make your notes a little bit more robust so that you can bill and code the way that you want to. But I don't necessarily think, for me, it's not going to replace how I see patients.
No.
And that's never the intention, at least. Yeah.
It never will be that. We did also use it for clinic workflow optimization, like templating.
Yeah.
So we had it create, hey, we want to see, 6 patients an hour with, what makes the most sense for new versus post-op versus follow-up. And these are the hours with a break in between this, structure this template. So, that's something really useful that it can come up with.
Or
quickly.
Schedule. Like, I have 5 providers. I need to cover 3 locations. Here are vacation days. Can you please create a schedule where everybody works this amount of hours per week? Perfect. And again, I think it just makes things faster.
Yeah.
Like that, instead of spending 3 hours on that, give me 3 versions of this template. Perfect.
Yeah. I think for you and I, AI is like, we can do more now. More than ever before.
We can do
more now.
And
I needed something to allow me to get just closer and
to reach
closer
that
to
next
the edge.
level.
Yeah, to level up.
Get closer to the edge. That's one way of saying it.
To tiptoe.
To tiptoe.
But I think AI has a great place in medicine and orthopedics. And I think, it can't really replace us, but it can make us more efficient in many ways.
I'll tell you what it can replace. Radiologists. I think AI can definitely replace, like, if you put in an image and ask for a x-ray review, like, why do you need a radiologist?
Totally. I think it could.
Yeah.
Now, can it replace, though, like, my clinical interpretation, like my live read of it? No, because that's the same as having a radiologist, right? The radiologist isn't putting their hands on the patients. They don't really know the clinical story. They are just looking, observing, reporting, and that can be replaced. What can't be replaced, though, is you have the patient in front of you, you get the images, and you're correlating now based on your exam. So
can it replace our call center?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it
easily
can. Well, I'll tell you what, because without the clinical knowledge, someone calls and they say, hey, my right shoulder hurts and it's burning from my shoulder to my fingertips and I can't move my neck. They put that on the shoulder team.
Yeah. And I'm not saying like AI couldn't get those types of things wrong, but how much more wrong is it going to get it?
The error and the accuracy will be very similar. Yeah.
Eerily similar.
Yeah. I think pathology too. I think pathologists are going to go, and even, like triage. We don't really have someone who does triage, but if you plug in your symptoms, they can triage it as like, urgent, not really urgent, and definitely not urgent. Right. But being surgical providers, I think we rely on our hands to fix things in a non-algorithmic way. At least what we do, everything's a little bit different. So I feel safe.
Yeah. I feel safe from AI as well. And I feel supported by AI.
Yeah.
Me and AI have a symbiotic relationship.
I don't want patients to come in and feel like they're getting nothing more than what they could have typed in their computer. So my personality also cannot be replaced.
No. I mean, like, they come in for the experience that I'm giving them.
Yes, definitely.
It's theatrical.
Definitely.
So will I continue using it? Yes.
Yeah, but
I think AI is like one of these trendy things that 5 years from now, people are going to be like, oh, remember when we used ChatGPT for everything?
I don't know.
Or is it only going to get like more? Are we going to have like a robot sitting next to us in 2 years?
Ugh, I hope not. I just don't want to share the space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I think it's a good thing right now, especially when we live in a world of high volume and the need for high output, right? So I think if this makes our jobs easier, it's allowing us to meet the demands of the market, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have to. Part of the grind.
But I'm interested to see if like in the future, can it predict patient outcomes? Can we avoid unnecessary things? Like, I wonder if we can use that for more positive patient outcomes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, everybody have to wait till the end of the episode for a weekly recap. The best part.
Yeah,
we listen in.
I know we went we went right in today, but let's track back. How was your week?
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Okay.
We had 10 cases this week, which sounds really low for hand surgery, but we had we did 3 total shoulders this week.
That's big, yeah.
As a part of those 10. So there's that. I had a super busy clinic Monday and yesterday. I've been trying to level up my numbers, just adding on more and more people. I am so close to breaching the 100 mark. Okay.
Patients per week.
99 last week.
That's impressive.
Yeah. In the week before, also 99. Like, why couldn't I have found that 100th person?
Yeah, were you incapable of that? Like, don't you think next week you could find one more patient?
Well, I'm not scheduled for as many next week, so the chances are lower. Like, I didn't know that I was at 99 until I went back and looked for the week. If I had known, hey, you're going to be at 99, 100%, I would have walked outside and pushed somebody down a flight of stairs.
No, absolutely. Let me check you out and make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of statistics, the doctor that I work with, we have a surgery center on site, as you know, right?
Yeah.
There's an email that goes out every week that is from our surgery scheduler that is utilization per week. Our doc is 100%. Every eligible surgery center case he does at the surgery center. So it shows, which is hard to look at each week, loss of potential revenue. So these are numbers that we could have that we don't because we've chosen to do these cases elsewhere. Now, I had a thing this week where we had a day at an outside facility. The only reason we go to an outside facility is when something is not best suited medically or otherwise, right?
And those
we don't have
typically shouldn't count against you if the insurance doesn't.
They don't.
It's not authorized. Yeah.
So this list that we get every week is eligible patients that could be done at the surgery center, were done at the surgery center. Okay. So fast forward to Wednesday. We were operating at another facility half day and then going to clinic second half of the day. We had 2 cases posted. Anesthesia told us in order to do the day, you need to find a 3rd case. You have to, or we cancel the day. Okay.
Center,
So if we're talking about like net profit, loss, whatever, I would rather
lose some at the surgery center here and fill your day. You have to. Yeah.
So you would have done the same thing.
Oh,
yes?
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because otherwise you lose out on 2 cases you could have done and also just your time that day.
So we did a mass excision on this guy. I think I talked about it before, but he was injecting himself with testosterone in his deltoid. He got himself infected. He had this massive abscess for 2 years, PS. We did an IND, packed it with Stimulon, and then we should have put a drain in. We didn't. He developed a hematoma. I aspirated I aspirated as much as I could. I assumed that there was clotted mess in there. So I'm like, all right, let's take you back in, evacuate the hematoma. There's no implants for that case. There's no way that's going to pay. That's not a profitable case, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, that's the perfect guy to do at the surgery center. I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was
you knew
messing
you were
with
messing
the stats.
with the numbers.
I did,
yeah.
But I thought it was the right thing to do. Anyway, so Tuesday, the day before our 3-case Wednesday, one patient canceled because of a cardiac thing. And I was like, oh my God. So anesthesia, do they need us to find another case? Like, let's find another case.
Yeah.
And our surgery scheduler was like, no, they're good with 2. Wait, so if they're good with 2, they would have been if I didn't add this guy.
And
yeah.
now,
so I disclosed the facts to the surgeon that I worked with yesterday. And he was like, how could you do this to me? Because his numbers,
now the number's not,
his number's not 0 now. Now I'm hoping that this met some criteria of it couldn't have gone here anyway, or it slipped through the cracks. I'm hoping nobody sees it. But if it were me, shoes were reversed, I would have been so mad that I had a perfect record and now there's a blip. Like, I get it.
Yes. But like, so that report used to frustrate the shit out of me. And honestly, it still does.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier to get close to that 100 mark so like we have 2 weeks a month where we don't even have block time here.
I know.
We're not ever going to get to 100. That's not feasible.
But the chart does not say that. The chart does not have a little like, look at the addendum to see like.
This is what I've said all along. It needs to be based on percentages of your block time utilization. Did you bring, based on how much time you have, your percentage of your eligible cases here? And then we would be pretty darn close to 100%. But if we have 50% of our time that's not even allocated there, well, we're going to have some Blue Cross patients that have to go somewhere else.
Well, I'll tell you what, there should be another email that comes out saying,
or just what makes the most sense too. For
yeah.
the day.
Or just saying like, look at what these people did to survive this week. Like an award for
thriving.
I know, like how it's on a thriving email. But anyway, so we will receive that email of what we did this week Monday. So I'm not looking forward to that.
When I see it, I'm going to cringe.
I know.
I'm going to screenshot it.
I know. But other than that, like clinic was all right. Surgeries were good, full days. The PA that I work with, he's in the military, and this is his last 2.5 week stint that he has to go do whatever he does before he retires.
Vacation.
So now his vacation. So the dates are May 28th, which is like a Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, off the next week, back on June 15th. Like when I say that, that's half a month. That's a long time. Now, and it's May 15th. I am already getting the front desk coming back to me and being like, hey, you're booked out.
Yeah.
Hey, you're booked out. So my team was like, hey, where can I add this? And I said, oh, did you ask the other PA? They're like, no, he's really particular about double books. I'm like, listen, when you go away on quote vacation for 2.5 weeks, you don't get an opinion.
No,
like no, you must push him also.
Yeah.
Like again,
don't just ask me.
This is a tangent, but I have capabilities. I have my upper limit, and then I have my like undisclosed upper limit.
Yeah.
Right? Those are different numbers. Yeah. Whereas he has his hard stop. Like we ignore your hard stop when you quote put us in this situation.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was, and I will have to do this now all next week and half of the next week.
I hate that.
I know. Yeah.
You're gonna have to over crush the next few weeks.
Yeah. So I'm mentally preparing for that.
We had like some weird, complicated surgery things happen this week too that annoyed me. I had a cancellation on Thursday. It was very ironic, actually. Like a patient I saw on Monday. I sent you the x-rays, this severely displaced thumb fracture, right? So, Spanish speaking family. I don't speak Spanish. I wish I did. I've got a 550-day streak on Duolingo. It's not proven helpful to me up to this point. So there's no benefit to that. Duolingo, you need to step it up for your medical providers. So anyway, the patient themselves spoke English. The parent didn't speak English. I wasn't prepared going in the room. Like nobody tells me like, oh, hey, you're going to need an interpreter or whatever. So I just walk in blindly, start going, they're communicating back and forth. So I'm like, all is fine. But then I finished the visit and the mom's like, oh, like, do you speak Spanish? I'm like, no, like I would have been this whole time if I could.
Right. I didn't enjoy this visit either. Just so we're on the same
So then,
page.
of course, I'm like, do you need me to get an interpreter? Yes. So I go out, get one. I repeat the entire visit.
Oh, God, help
which
me.
is also like, it's almost triple repeated because the interpreter has to say back and forth each thing that I say. So this is now triple the time of a normal visit.
I'm
go over
already
everything.
annoyed. I'm already annoyed.
Yeah. And whatever. It's a good visit. Everything's fine. They're like, yeah, we're going to move forward with surgery Thursday, blah, blah, blah. I tell them to hear out from our scheduler for confirmation. Everything gets like set and good to go. Thursday, we're in the OR. Circulating nurse is like, hey, you think you guys will have any cancellations today? Because stuff like that happens a lot. I was like, no, I don't think so. Although I will say, if it were to be anybody, the last patient of the day family doesn't speak English. So, if there's any miscommunications from
that's a maybe.
Yeah, then that would be the one to go. Literally not, but 10 minutes later, somebody, our scheduler emails me and is like, hey, I got this weird email and I think the last one of the day is probably canceling. So the day after I saw them in clinic, they went to another facility, another orthopedic office, right? Which, fine, get a second opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's great. No problem with that. At the second opinion, they told them to go to the children's ER. So they had already seen our urgent care, closed reduction, saw me, scheduled for surgery because it's not reduced enough and it's an unstable fracture. It needs a pin. So they go see the second opinion who tells them, hey, go to the ER for a closed reduction, which they've already done.
God,
so then they send them to the ER. The ER does a closed reduction. I didn't look at the images if they made it look any better than our urgent care's closed reduction. Then the ER tells them it still needs a pin and schedules them for outpatient surgery the following week. So literally just repeated the process.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you think
it was so annoyed?
But do you think that the patient's family didn't know enough of what they had already had done and signed up for that they thought that this was different?
Yeah. I mean, like that has to be, or they were already so far into, like, I have no idea. I wish that I could figure out what the reasoning for that is. I will never know. I wish that I could know though, because it is eating me away.
Yeah. I had a patient, I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. My son had a soccer game late on a Friday night and this kid hurt his knee. I went out on the field and I examined him and I told his mom, who again, kind of understood English, dad, not at all.
Yeah.
That I think he tore his ACL. He went in as I had suggested to urgent care the next day, which was shocking, right? Because normally that doesn't happen. Got his MRI, got his brace, whatever, tore his ACL. So I saw them for pre-op and I walk in the room. And again, my son plays on a team. The practices started August 5th and they're still going. It's a 9-month commitment, 3 days a week plus games on the weekends plus a tournament.
Yeah.
Every couple months. So I walk in the room. Mom was like, oh, do you remember us? Yeah. Yeah, I remember. She goes, remember we were the ones on the field?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, I do.
Like, I know you guys.
I know you guys, right? And she goes, so you were right. It was like, yeah, but right now you just told me you didn't think I was. So that's cool.
Yeah.
It was like 2 slaps. I walked in the room and like punched me once, punched me twice. And I was a little bit like stunned. Like, oh, you remember us? I'm like, yes, I remember you. Oh, and you were right.
Yeah,
no shit, I was right. Like, I don't know.
Did you really question?
It was super annoying. And
I wasn't, but
I was trying to like keep my demeanor like positive and all that, but I was so fucking pissed. Like it just got me. It like annoyed me.
Do you feel like in those situations sometimes like people that is the culmination of people like truly not understanding what you do?
Yes.
Like they come in and see you in an office setting and they're like, oh wait, like you're actually doing this?
Yes.
Like
so what was also annoying, and again, this is what I can pick up on, and this is why I'll never be replaced by AI, is as I was talking and I got more clinically detailed, she kept looking down at my badge.
Yeah.
Like to see like I think she still didn't know. I think she still thought like I was a medical assistant or something, because it was confusing to her as I started talking more. Like
she's like, things are coming out that I wouldn't expect to be coming out from you.
I know, which means she already made her assessment of me, which I'm like really annoyed about. But anyway.
Yes. I hate that.
I know. It's annoying. Anyway, but other than that,
decent week.
Yeah, it's a decent week. So
next week we'll crush it all over again.
Yeah, next week's week leading up to Memorial Day. I love like looking forward to things. You know?
Are we going to see Hamilton the same weekend?
I think so. Not this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah, not like right now. next.
Oh, I'm going a couple days after you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going the day before Memorial Day.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that
my mug is
too.
a homage to
Yes, we'll have to talk about it too.
All right. Well, until next time.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Joint Effort PAs. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow PA or med-minded friend. You can also follow us on Instagram at Joint Effort PAs for updates and extra content. See you next time.